Libra, how's it going? This is your forecast for May 2017, and the Sun this month is in your 8th house for shared resources. So that's going to be your main focus, where the Sun, the essence of who you are, you're going to be looking into savings, investments, royalties, commissions, insurances, and so forth, inheritances, maybe any kind of payouts, or you can shore up your financial situation. We're not necessarily looking at your income sector, your month-to-month income, but more how you could set aside, how you could strategize maybe a little bit more, cut back on certain expenses, maybe refinance, or that kind of thing that can really set you up. Now, the Sun moves through this area once a year, giving you the ability to kind of focus and get it done. Not just think about it, but to put action behind it. Therefore, many times we wonder, it's like, why does it take so long for us to, from having the thought to actually getting it done? Why doesn't it happen? Well, it lacks action. Then it's just thought. But the Sun is the essence of who you are, so you're going to focus here. The 8th house is also the area of intimacy, so I feel that this month it's going to be a good month. The Sun is moving through the sign of Taurus. Now, Taurus is very sensual. It wants what it wants, and it needs what it needs, right? So I'm thinking it has to do with quality of life, quality of your relationship. And since we're on the topic of relationships, as we start off, let's look at Venus. Because Venus is right now moved into your 7th house of relationships, and in the sign of Aries. Now, Aries is the initiator. It will definitely take steps. If you're shy, you will not be shy this month. You will initiate, take lead on what it is now that you desire romantically. There's a playful type of competitive type energy that is playful. And I'm thinking that your partner is really going to like to see this side of you. Once a year, Venus will move through this area, and you will have that extra charge with you. Now, alongside with it, we have Mercury, which is retrograde when we start off the month here, which is bringing back situations from the past. So yes, you're going to be communicating and talking a lot about those things that can be fixed or tweaked, retweaked. Issues that might have not been resolved, they can come to resolve themselves under this retrograde. This is good for you. We got to recall that Uranus is still in your 7th house, so expect the unexpected. You have changed a lot, Libra. I think maybe one of the most important factors that you have found is how you're able to, I won't say separate or distance yourself from your partner, because that's not what it's about, but finding your own individual, unique self and giving room and space for it, and giving space to your partner as well without the need to constantly be reaffirmed. And that is what Uranus does. It finds that uniqueness within each and every one of us. It happens to be in your 7th house, so you could find that this has been the changes in your relationship, either through you, or it could be your partner too. But in that space, it's like the temple is lifted and raised upon pillars, but there's space between the pillars holding the temple up, meaning we have to have the wind, the air between, so that that intensity doesn't eat up the relationship. It's good with symbiosis. Every once in a while it can be very nurturing, very healing, but then we need space to grow so we can evolve as human beings. This is what I see your relationship is about. But Venus this month shows that you're taking action and initiation. Mars is in the sign of Gemini, and that's your sister sign, so you do well with that. It's an air sign. Gemini is very versatile, and it works with several projects at once, not just one thing. Sometimes that could become a little too routine, too boring. Gemini likes to keep it fresh, so you might have several things lined up that you're researching. That's a key word of the 9th house. It has to do with education, so you might find yourself educating yourself this month, one way or the other, whether it's online or you are deepening yourself into a subject matter, whether it's taking a degree. And in that case, you should be doing really well, because Mars is really focused. It's direct. It's moving onwards. You could be taking a class or a course Because why? Gemini is curious. And so having Mars and Gemini in this area, you're curious about a certain topic. And I would say go for it right now, because Mars is on your side. It's going to be 2 years until you get this extra energy, this extra oomph, if you wish, to push you through these waves. Now, the new moon is in this area too, but not before May 25th. So the new moons are always new beginnings. And from it, your new beginnings are starting in the area of education. The ninth house also has to do with travel. So those of you who are lucky to travel in May, you will have an awesome time, very energetically so. And it could be into areas that you've always been curious about, and more power to you from that. But also, if you're working on a lawsuit, Mars will help you push through and complete and get to where you want to go. We do have these retrogrades that has been working. Jupiter is going to be retrograde to June 10th. Venus retrograde there until April 15th. We're looking at May right now, but March and April could have slowed things down a little bit, but Venus is picking up speed. So between Venus and Mars, between working with any kind of suits that are ongoing, or if you're also looking to get a green card, a visa, waiting for those things, that too is ruled under the ninth house. Now, creatively, for those of you who are writers looking for publishers, this is a great time to get that. So I'm sensing that there is a month of activity ahead of you. We still have Jupiter retrograde until June 10th. That is in your first house. So yes, there's been expansion of self within you, Libra. But you will see it, especially from next mid-month, that this is now going to start moving forward again for you. Saturn too is retrograde and will be until August 6th. Now this has to do with siblings or neighbors, also short distance travel, maybe little hiccups or delays or issues needing to be worked karmically. Saturn's very karmic. So you have that also here this month, as you will next month and until that of August. But we have a lot of activity. We start off the month on the 4th with Venus and, the Sun and Neptune. The Sun is you, Neptune is your hopes and dreams and your aspirations, everything that you could see, visualize in an ideal world. It also rules our dreams, whether it's nocturnal dreams or it's daydreaming. I'd say pay attention, because on the 4th you're going to receive a vision, and visions are beautiful in the sense that you see the full picture all at once, right? That means you see the beginning, you see the end. Now, if we just have a creative thought, well, and the vision isn't there, well, we can start, a creative project with a good thought, inspired thought. But sometimes it's hard to see the forest for all the trees, and we get lost, and then we kind of navigate like this, which could be a long journey. But when we have the vision, we see the end result. So from the beginning, you know exactly where you're heading, right? So I'd say pay attention, write it down in your notebook, because you may not be able to act on it, right away, but let it be on a mental note. On the 9th, I see you being extremely empowered with the Sun and Pluto. When they harmonize like this, then we're pushing through. This is birthing new beginnings. The Sun for you in the 8th house, Pluto for you is in the 4th house. So this has to do with home, family, residence, where you live. It has to do with money, financing. If you are trying to refinance, you can have some good news on the 9th. If there is an inheritance, there might be news on it at this time. On the 10th, unexpected news is coming in. That is Mercury, communicating something unexpected. There's always that surprise factor, that wild card that Uranus represents. Uranus for you is in the 7th house, so this could be news coming from your partner, or it could be good news that you are relating to your partner by surprise. On the 15th, there's two things going on. There is a letdown, it's allergies. A letdown as far as a goal that you had intended. Maybe you set up a date. Maybe that's going to fall through. Whatever the deal is. Neptune and Mars, when they get together, Mars wants to act, especially because Mars is direct. Neptune, on the other hand, it's like holding water in your hand, and when it's not really aspected well, that water runs straight through your fingers and then it slips, it dissolves, right? So a goal is dissolving here on the 11th. However, don't let that get you too far down, because why? Saturn and Mercury will put it back in place. Mercury's communication, Saturn is trying to solidify and shore up whatever it is. So if there is a delay, if there is something being called off, don't take it personally. This could be circumstantially, but you'll set up a new date and all is good. Now on the 12th, this is a day to circle on your chart with Mars and Jupiter, Libra. Mars, again, action, right? And you have your Mars in the 9th house for higher goals and aspirations. Jupiter coming to you from your 1st house, which has to do with you. So this is a very enthusiastic day. Whatever it is you're doing, if you're traveling right now, Jupiter loves to travel. It rules the travel area in your chart. And Mars is in that area. So this could be an exceptional type journey for you. Maybe taking you to a place far away that you've been dreaming about for a long time. Now you get to experience it. You could also come to cross paths, maybe with a foreigner or somebody in a faraway place, which could be very supportive for you, maybe even opening up doors to where you're heading. If you're waiting for that green card or visa, this could be a day that you will have that accomplished. Now on the 16th, Mercury's moving out of your relationship area, out of the sign of Aries, into the sign of Taurus. Now Taurus is very strong-minded, bullheaded, as we say. So that means that you're going to feel much stronger about the things that you want and why you want it. I feel too that this is a situation that you're going to be bringing up with your partner, since it's the 8th house and shared resources. This is a great time too where you could get all your ducks in a row. The sun, like I said, is powering through there. Now Mercury is coming in, wanting the paperwork and so forth. So if you're getting anything adjusted to your insurances, this will be a time to have it done. Mortgages, that kind of thing. Royalties and commissions. And so on the 19th, we have Saturn and Uranus coming into a beautiful harmonious triangle. Now, even though Saturn is retrograde, okay? Saturn is still looking out for your higher good, right? It's what you're mastering, trying to master in your life. Saturn will always support you in that, even though he might hold you by the ear and have you work for it, however, right? But it's like here you're getting a little bit of a free ride, and that's coming with a surprise from Uranus. Uranus loves to liberate, free up, right? Change things so things can bring in a new dimension, so to speak. Now Saturn is in your 3rd house. Uranus for you is in your 7th house. So I feel this could be between news from you and a partner, or it could be a sibling, but at least there's a partnership that you're working with, maybe with a sibling, that now can prompt open a liberation and freeing up something that might have felt like a burden, all right? Saturn is always feeling like a burden because it keeps our nose to the grindstone, right? So something is going to open in that sense. So pay attention to what that might mean for you. Sometimes the 3rd house too is travel. This could be an unexpected trip or journey you might take since Uranus is there, meaning it wasn't planned, but oops, here we go, right? So maybe you're going to go travel, visit a sibling, or maybe a sibling could come see you, for example. Now there is choices needing to be made on the very same day, and that is financial, I feel. Due to Venus and Jupiter, they're opposing one another, coming from, let me see where in your chart, it's the 1st and 7th house. So say if you need to travel, I'm just giving you a scenario, you will think, well, what will that do to my partner? Because Jupiter is there, Venus is there in your partner house, Venus is in your 1st house, so it could be a money issue. Maybe you need to speak with your partner about this in order to make whatever else is happening on this day, but you will figure it out. And I feel that you will have the support that you might fear you won't, but you will have that support because I think whatever is taking place here on the 19th needs to happen. It's just one of those things. The sun, though, moving into Gemini, leaving the sign of Taurus. From your 8th house, now focusing on the 9th house, which again has to do with travel and journeys, higher education, and so forth. This is a time where the sun wants to expand consciousness. There's a new opening. You have this annually where the sun expands your higher mind. It's the house where Jupiter rules. So I can see how you're thinking, you're feeling that you want more wind under your wings so you can see things from a higher perspective. Some of you might start a class or take a course. The 9th house is all about that. Why? Because we want to see where we fit in, how we can grow, how we can expand and evolve, become more of who we are. So that could be research done online, for example. All of this is preparatory steps for when the sun moves into the 10th house next month. Right? Because then we're focusing on your higher goals, but also your career. So some of you might be preparing for that. On the 25th, it could be a lover's argument. Not necessarily. It could be. It's Venus squaring off on Pluto. It could also be a dispute upon money matters somewhere. That could also be between you and a partner, but not necessarily. It's just that you're not really seeing eye to eye on either values or the sum of a bill, whatever it is, but it's just one of those days that's going to come and go, and you might just feel that people around you are a little short-tempered this day. And try to not take that personally. It's just pent-up energies that need to come out, and it's not just for you here, Libra, it's for everybody. Everybody's having that square here. On the 28th and straight throughout the rest of the month is a blessed time. Remember I said early in your reading that the Sun and Neptune would have that vision, right? Now, Mercury's coming to that very same degree that the Sun was. This is now you speaking, sharing, communicating what that vision was all about so that you can get some feedback. What do they think about this concept, idea, or whatever it is? That will leave you feeling even better, more shored up as far as what that vision was. And then it comes the 31st with Mars and Uranus. Now Mars is action. Uranus is all the unexpected. It's a liberating energy. You might do something here totally untraditional or in an unconventional way. That's just the way Uranus rolls. I think you might even surprise yourself to see just how much you can accomplish by doing this certain act. Now, Mars being in your 9th house, Uranus in your 7th house might just have to do with you and how you're acting or taking some decision in regards to your partnership. But it could also just be your partner coming to surprise you in the way that he or she may now support you with the decisions, the actions that you're taking. So it's all good, especially on the same day, we got Mercury and Pluto. Beautiful golden triangle. That means that you're communicating in a very empowered way. And just watch how you will have the power to create an indentation, a mark on the people you speak with on this day. It's just because you're so very clear, very pinpointed. And I feel that there's a point of transformation which Pluto always brings with it whenever aligned in a good way. So this new direction, this spark that you have, you know how powerful it is or will be for you because of these transits. And that is the new beginnings in the home, family, environment. So action, action. This is setting you up, Libra.